I still remember the exact moment my heart shattered at 35,000 feet. The cabin lights were dimmed for the overnight flight, most people asleep or staring blankly at their little screens. And there I was, strapped into seat 23A, fighting back tears in front of the one person who was supposed to love me no matter what, my sister Sarah. We used to be everything to each other. 2 years apart, same silly laugh, same childhood dreams whispered under blankets with flashlights. Everyone said we were like twins, even though I was quieter, darker haired, always in her shadow. She was the sparkling one, bold, beautiful, the girl who walked into rooms and owned them. I was the steady one, the one who read flight manuals instead of fashion magazines, the one who fell in love with the sky at 12 and never looked back. By 18, I had my private pilot's license. By 24, I was flying F-16s for the Air Force, combat missions, night landings on carriers. I never told many people, not because I was ashamed, because it felt sacred, something just for me. Sarah knew, of course, but to her it was a cute hobby, a quirky little thing her boring sister did to feel important. That flight from New York to London was supposed to be a new beginning. I'd bought both tickets as a surprise. Life had pulled us apart. Her flashy career, her perfect marriage, my deployments. I thought 8 hours trapped together might stitch us back together. Maybe we'd talk like we used to, laugh, remember. She saw me in my flight suit at the gate and rolled her eyes so hard I felt it in my chest. Seriously, you're wearing that on a commercial flight? You look ridiculous. I forced a smile. I came straight from base. Flight was delayed, didn't have time to change. She laughed, sharp, loud enough for strangers to glance over. Base. Right, because you're such a big deal fighter pilot. Please, you're basically a glorified bus driver with extra steps. The words landed like slaps. But I swallowed them, told myself she was tired, jet lag, whatever. We boarded. She took the window seat, I took the aisle. As soon as we leveled off, she started again, leaning close so only I could hear, but loud enough that the man in front shifted uncomfortably. You know why I never brag about you to my friends? Because it's embarrassing. You're 32, still playing pretend in the sky, while I'm actually building a life. Married, house, real success. And you're this. She waved her hand at me like I was something broken she pitied. I stared at my lap. My hands were shaking. Passengers nearby pretended not to listen, but I felt their eyes. An older woman in the row ahead turned slightly, gave me a small, sad smile. I'm proud of what I do, I whispered. Sarah snorted. Proud? Of being invisible? Come on. Mom and Dad always worried you'd end up alone. The quiet one who never quite made it. Second place. Always second. Every sentence carved deeper. I turned to the window, watched clouds glow under moonlight, and felt something inside me crack wide open. I'd spent years proving to myself that I was enough, and in minutes my own sister had torn it all down. I didn't speak again for a long time. She popped in her earbuds, scrolled, occasionally laughed at her phone. I sat in silence, replaying every cruel word, feeling smaller with every mile we flew across the dark Atlantic. But what I didn't know, what none of us knew, was that the sky was about to demand the truth from both of us. About 4 hours in, the first chime sounded. Soft, innocent. Then the captain's voice. Calm, but edged with something tight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We've experienced a sudden hydraulic failure affecting our primary flight controls. We're declaring an emergency and diverting to the nearest suitable airport. Please stay seated, keep calm, and follow all crew instructions. The cabin froze. Then whispers exploded into fear. Sarah ripped out her earbuds, her hand clamped onto my arm. What does that mean? Are we going to crash? I didn't answer right away. My ears were tuned to the aircraft, the subtle groan of engines, the unnatural sluggishness in the turns. I knew exactly what hydraulic failure at cruise meant. The pilots were fighting a dying machine. The flight attendants moved fast. No masks yet, but their faces were pale. The senior attendant hurried down the aisle, speaking quietly into her headset. Sarah's breathing turned shallow. I don't want to die. Oh God, I don't want to die like this. I covered her hand with mine. Breathe slow, in through your nose, out through your mouth. She looked at me, eyes glassy and full. I'm sorry, I was awful. I didn't mean. The captain came on again, voice steadier but urgent. We've lost full control authority. We're working the problem, but prepare for a possible emergency landing or ditching. Flight crew, brace positions. Passengers, heads down, hands over your head when we call it. Ditching. The word rippled through the cabin like ice water. Someone sobbed, a child started crying. Phones lit up, people texting goodbyes. Sarah was trembling so hard the seat shook. I was jealous, she whispered. All these years, you were always so free, and I hated it. I wanted you small so I could feel big. I'm so sorry. I squeezed her hand, but my mind was already elsewhere. Training, muscle memory. Every emergency I drilled in simulators, in real aircraft screaming through the sky. The senior flight attendant stopped at our row, eyes desperate. Is there anyone here with military aviation experience? Fighter background preferred. The pilots are asking for any qualified help. They're struggling badly. Silence. Then eyes turned to me because my sister was staring straight at me, mouth open. I stood slowly. I'm a former fighter pilot, 6 years active. I can help. The attendant blinked. You? I nodded once. Take me forward. Sarah whispered, broken. You're really going to do this? I didn't answer. I followed the attendant through the curtain, past terrified faces, to the cockpit door. It opened. Both pilots were drenched in sweat, arms locked on yokes that barely moved. The captain looked up, hope flickering. You actually fly fighters? F-16s, combat. Emergencies are my normal. He jerked his head. Jump seat, now. Help us trim this beast. Elevators are frozen. We've got partial ailerons. Talk us through it. I slid in, hands on instruments, voice calm even though my pulse roared. Check your standby trim. Manual input on the wheel. Small adjustments, don't overcorrect. Let's set up for gradual descent. We worked fast. I called out rudder pressures, flap schedules, anything to keep the nose from plunging. The first officer glanced at me like a lifeline. Behind the door, I could hear the cabin. Crying, prayers, and Sarah's voice, small, pleading, calling my name over and over. The next 40 minutes felt like years. Every correction was a battle. Every 1,000 feet lost and regained felt like a miracle. We coaxed the wounded plane toward a short runway in Ireland. Crosswinds, rain, barely enough pavement. When the wheels finally slammed down, hard, skidding, but down, the cabin exploded. Screams turned to sobs of relief. Cheers, people hugging strangers. We taxied to a stop. Lights flashed outside, medics and fire crews everywhere. Everyone alive. 300 lives. I stepped out last, legs shaky. Passengers reached for me, hands on my shoulders, tears in their eyes. Thank you. You saved us. A little boy saluted me with tiny fingers. Sarah was waiting in the aisle, mascara streaked, face raw. She didn't speak at first, just stared, like she was seeing me for the first time in her life. Then she lunged forward and wrapped her arms around me so tight I couldn't breathe. I'm so sorry, she sobbed into my shoulder. I was cruel, jealous, blind. I never knew. I never let myself see how incredible you are. Thank you for saving us, for saving me. I held her back. I didn't do it to prove anything. I did it because you're my sister. Because people were scared. Because that's who I am. She pulled away, eyes shining. I see you now. Really see you. And I'm so proud and so ashamed of everything I said. We stood there while the plane emptied. Passengers thanked me one by one. Some cried, some just squeezed my hand and whispered, "Hero." Later, on the tarmac under gray Irish sky, I looked up at the clouds we'd fought through. Sarah took my hand. "I don't deserve your forgiveness, not yet, but I'll spend the rest of my life earning it." I smiled, tired but lighter than I'd felt in years. We'll figure it out, together. Sometimes the people who hurt us most are the ones who need saving the most. Revenge doesn't always look like destruction. Sometimes it looks like grace, like choosing to protect someone even after they've broken your heart. That day, I didn't destroy my sister. I lifted her. And in doing so, I lifted myself too. The sky taught me that real strength isn't in proving someone wrong. It's in rising above the pain and carrying others with you. And that kind of strength, it heals deeper than any wound ever could. If you've ever been betrayed by someone close, hold on. Your moment to rise might be closer than you think. And when it comes, answer the call. You might just save more than a plane full of strangers. You might save a relationship, or a heart, maybe even your own.